Hello and welcome. I'm Peter, the host of this channel, and on this channel I share my experience as an independent explorer in the world of the occult. Also, I truly believe that you didn't find me by accident and that what I have to say will help you thrive on your spiritual journey. So in today's video I'm going to talk about my experience with the abyss or the void that you may have already heard about. It is a metaphorical place, a dark and bottomless realm that personifies the infinite depth of the human psyche or of the one great mind. Well, according to my experience, it is more than just a concept of something philosophical. It is absolutely real, and all who embark on a spiritual journey would one day come to meet its darkness and profoundness face to face. No matter who or how spiritually advanced you are, this encounter will shatter your world in just seconds and will have a profound impact on your daily life and your spiritual journey. So let's dive in. Oh, and by the way, if you find that this video is to your liking, then please give it a like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell, as it really motivates me to create more content like this. So the void is a metaphysical place for the mind, not for the body. However, its horrors affect the body too. Think of it as a kind of Mariana Trench of the mind, the deepest, darkest places of your psyche, where you were meant to face your most innate fears, face to face. These are fears that you wouldn't normally think about, things that are not even among your conscious fears. These are your deepest fears rooted in your psyche. And once you enter the void, these fears become real and they cause the worst existential crisis in your life from which there seems to be no escape. My crossing happened about 2 years ago. Something told me that what I'm about to go through is going to be new and that I should hold tight. I remember exactly where I stood and what I was doing when it hit me. My soul is entering the void now. I've heard about this concept from before, but I didn't know much about it. However, in my case, what started to unravel was a total and complete annihilation of my beliefs. It's like when you stand on a solid foundation and yet it all crumbles under your feet and you have nowhere to go, no one to ask help from, yet you think you're actually violently going insane. Everything I knew and firmly believed was gone in just days. It was as if life from that point on wanted to show me that there was no God and there were no familiar spirits, no magical powers, and all I had was my physical prowess, which, by the way, was also fading away as I took a deep dive into a severe form of depression. I started to think that I was schizophrenic all along, and that all my spiritual activities and my spiritual journey was just the result of my condition. It was as if I unknowingly fooled myself all along. Everything started to have an alternate meaning. And it didn't matter what I used to believe for years before that. It didn't even matter that I had proof for most of my beliefs. I was no longer sure of myself. Yes, it turned out that my deepest fear was that my life's journey was all in my head and I was simply an idiot for not realizing what was really going on. A form of manic depression filled with illusions that I created for myself. I started to see myself from a different angle, and from this angle I could no longer see my core beliefs. It seems that years of doing rituals and spiritual exercises clearly were a weird form of just a waste of time. Of course, in the void, none of my magic rituals worked. It was like the ultimate wake-up call, an existential crisis. I felt like I needed to abandon spirituality altogether and start a new life as a mentally deranged person. I started to feel this unexplainable sense of anxiety and fear up to a point where I had a mental breakdown in front of my family members. It was so bad that I was taken to a psychiatric ward where I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder and schizoaffective disorder on the spot. The doctor prescribed me medication right then and there. What started from then on was a form of confusion. I didn't know what to believe. I didn't know if I was ever going to leave this void or if I was gonna stay here forever. I started to have these suicidal thoughts too, but I couldn't kill myself because I feared that if I'd do it and leave my body, I would forever stay in the void, imprisoned in my then state of mind. Worst part was that I couldn't reach out to help. I had no one to run to. Nobody understood what I was going through. Then on one day I remembered what I once read in the grimorium verum. The grimorium verum is a black magic spell book which gives access to demonic spirits to do your bidding. You may be familiar with it and what the book promises to the operator of its magic like myself. What hit me was that short disclaimer that you can find on page 3, and I quote, "Part of the fascination of this text is no doubt due to the many grotesque and criminal elements such as using a human skull and blood. This is particularly true in the appended amazing secrets. These should in no way be regarded in any other way than horror fiction. Anyone attempting them literally is more likely to end up in jail or a hospital for the criminally insane rather than experience true magic. So in a twisted way, it is real. From that point on, I stayed away from black magic, but it was a little too late. Now, I'm not saying that this exact same thing will happen to you too, because we're all different and have different fears and different demons. This was just my journey through the abyss. But once it is over, it leaves you with rewards for your endurance and persistence. A new life, a different life. Nothing's ever gonna be the same after your passing of the void. It's the ultimate transformation process. It is not like going through a rough phase in your life. It is about losing it all and become ready to die. It is kind of for the same reason I think extraterrestrial presence on our planet will never be revealed to the public, because it would cause a mass mental breakdown as many people's religious beliefs are to be undercut and nullified by such news. Since the crossing, I value people's beliefs more because it gives comfort and preserves sanity. We all need to believe in something, otherwise we are just a bunch of insignificant entities living in an endless dead universe where no one can hear us and no one gives a damn about us. Deep space horror at its worst, taking place in the eye of the limitless nothingness. That was my journey in the void. But then slowly it finally ended. It lasted for a few months. During those months my ego got tortured and killed. But afterwards, you feel like a new person. Much wiser, much more content, much more powerful. Because you have to lose it all before you gain it all. So that is it for today. If you've watched till the end, I want to thank you for your attention. If you've ever experienced the void, please let us know about your experience in the comments down below. Otherwise, thank you for listening. I'll see you in the next video. Take care. More love.